a letter threatening to withdraw his workmen if payment is not made within 3 days. But the trouble is, I don't have the money. Mrinalini turned and, picking up her tongs, took the huge wok full of steaming vegetables off the fire. Rabindranath saw that her face turned pale as she did so, and she breathed hard, but she managed it. Setting her wok on the ground, she began pulling off her heavy shark-headed bangles off her wrists. But her hands had hardened over the years, and the gold circlets wouldn't pass over her knuckles. "I'll need to put some soap," she murmured, and rose to her feet. "It's quite a struggle getting them off." "Those are my mother's bangles," Rabindranath cried out passionately. "I've seen them on her wrists as long as I can remember." "Yes," Mrinalini smiled at her husband. "She left them for me. I too have worn them ever since I came to this Jorashanko." "Why do you take them off then?" "Because I have nothing else," Mrinalini answered simply, because she had given all her jewelry towards building of Shantiniketan already. "Only this scorpion chain, which I can't give you. A mother of sons mustn't go around with her neck bare." Rabindranath bit his lip and watched her go into her room and return a few minutes later, holding out the bangles. Putting them in her husband's hand, she went back to her cooking. Rabindranath returned to his study and, sending for one of the tutors, a man he trusted, gave him the bangles with instructions to sell them to the jeweler in Bolpur and bring back the money. Then, picking up his pen, he went back to his writing. The author lost himself for the next 2 hours. Then, the sound of a gong calling the children for lunch brought him back to reality.